Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading, and today is July 9th, 2025, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, Japanese yen weakens versus the US dollar, but first looking at today's major economic events. So we have at 8 p.m. South African time from the United States, FOMC Meeting Minutes. That's a meeting that the FOMC has in relation to the last interest rate decision. Now looking at the market, starting out with the Forex symbols, we're watching the Australian dollar fade after that spike, and looking at the US markets, both the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ taper off. Now looking at commodities, oil actually getting a decent bounce while gold tapering lower. And looking at the stocks, the bank sector, that includes Bank of America, JP Morgan, some of the other major financial institutions selling off. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin remains unchanged. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go with the Australian dollar. Now it gets to a fade opportunity, which means that, you have the initial move and then you have the counter move. And we got that counter move, but didn't give us a full A. So it's showing that the Australian dollar is kind of still strong, but it's still below that 30-day moving average and using that as a resistance. So this may still sell off at these levels. Now looking at the Japanese yen, did retrace versus the dollar up from 143 to 146. That's a decent move on the dollar side, okay? But altogether, we're still in a range, okay? Unless we break above this 146 to 147 level, we're going to continue trading within this range. Now, looking at the other markets, okay, the British pound really unchanged here. We're looking at a 4-hour chart. You can see that it's really just been altogether just tapering lower, but nothing really jumping out, okay? Neither was the euro as well. Now jumping into commodities, this is where it gets kind of interesting. Oil getting a decent perk here, a bounce to 68.69. At least for now, it's on the upper range, excluding that spike that we had earlier, and that's really contributed to the war in the Middle East between Israel and Iran. And we did correct ourselves. So since we've been at that spike, which was not natural, we've been really tapering just unchanged here. Now looking at gold tapering lower here to 32.93, it did dip below. Okay, this is where it becomes super important. It did dip below 3,300. Okay, next real supporters level is at that 32.74, so just be aware of it. Now jumping into the stocks, gets really interesting. Let's take a look at JP Morgan. Look at that sell-off, very decent sell-off, about 14 points, okay, which is very aggressive for a bank stock, and so did Bank of America. Big gap down and a sell-off here after hitting all-time highs. This is completely to be expected as we hit all-time highs. People taking some money off the table and going into today's FOMC. Clearly, there is some hesitation in the markets to take it higher. Now, looking at the other stocks, okay, if we look at Microsoft, still strong as a bull. 496 did not budge lower. Okay, you can see that it's been so strong. Facebook did stay unchanged. So there's a bit of a mixed environment in the stocks. Now lastly, let's take a look at Netflix, also tapering just a little bit lower, and Nvidia just off of its highs here, but sticking on. Okay, so the tech stocks and certain tech stocks still showing some tremendous strength. Now lastly, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Remains unchanged on its upper range. Okay, so it may still break out. This is a tremendous opportunity for it if it does above 110-ish level. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.
My advice, this is the best time to trade.